I got to get ready to get off here right now. So peace. All right. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. We're on live. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the world's most dangerous podcast. I am your host, Stevie Ray, and we call this Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. Hope everybody out there is having a great Monday, and I hope you had a great weekend. I know I did. And I'm going to tell you what I did. I got some relaxation in. But guess what, baby? I was still hanging and banging in the combat zone. No days off. No rest for the weary. That's what you're looking at right now. You know what I call myself? I'm a man, baby. No doubt about it. I'm a man. Keep up or shut up. That's how it goes in my world. Ain't no punks allowed. That's why this is the world's most dangerous podcast. But guys, we got a good one tonight, y'all. We got a good one tonight. I've been trying to get him for a long time. Been trying to get him for a while. Yes. But guess what? I put my guys on it. They found him. They tracked him down. What's up, Calcutta? What's up, Real Cool? Tracked him down. He was hiding. Behind the hedges, behind the trees, behind the garage. You can't hide from Stevie Ray. You can't hide. I'm just like a satellite. I'm just like a satellite up in the sky. I can find you, bro. I don't think I go get my way. What's up, Cron? What's up, Queen? What's up, Jamie? Yeah, we got him. He's here. Mr. David Shabazz. I told y'all about him. I told y'all I've been looking for him. But guess what, bro? Tracked him down. He couldn't even turn away. He had to submit or capitulate. You know what those words mean. He's here. Can't run no more. And we got it for him, brother. David is an author. David is a big wrestling fan. And David really knows his stuff. But tonight, it is on like a steaming pot of neck bones, man. It is on. We got to see what he's talking about. This is not Jimmy Tips, my boy that does every Monday night. David is here tonight. This is not Sonny Ono, that attacks you from behind, a Pearl Harbor job. Y'all know where that word came from? You know where that comment came from? Pearl Harbor job. That's Sonny Ono coming from behind. Sunday morning, I can't even go worship. I look up, it's an airplane flying over, dropping bombs. That's Sonny Ono. That's why I don't turn my back on him. And he knows what I'm talking about, man. I mean, it is what it is. We all do what we do, But tonight we got the real deal here. Tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Queen, I know you're ready. He's here. I got him. He's not hiding anymore. We're gonna check his level. We're gonna check his levels. Let's check his levels. Hold on a second here, David. There he is.
You got
Where
me.
is he? Is that him? There he is, y'all. I told you.
You got me.
I told you. Let's get him on. Let's get him on the camera. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, doing good. Glad to be on the podcast, the world's most dangerous podcast.
All right, brother. We don't. There go my boy Punisher. What's up, Punisher? I found him, Punisher. He's right here. Mr. David Shabazz. I know y'all been asking me about him. He's right here. He can't hide no more, brother. David, you here now, brother. This is how we do it here. But I got very, very loyal followers. I got very, very astute followers, brother. I told them about you. They didn't already look you up.
Uh-oh.
So if some questions come in, I
Uh-oh.
might read them, I might not. Sometimes I wait till the show. Sometimes I do it in the middle of a conversation, but it is what it is. But tell us how you doing today, brother. You doing all right?
Doing good, man. Hanging in there. Just trying to get back into swing of things myself. I
Mm-hmm.
My day job, I'm a teacher, and
Okay.
so we were on spring break
Right. Just ended
last
this
week.
week, right?
Yeah, it just ended. So we started back today. And hey, man, like you, I was working during spring break. No
Mm.
time off, no lunch
Right.
break, baby.
Right.
Got to do it.
Hey, it is what it is, man. People got to do what they got to do to survive in this crazy mixed up world of which we live in. Now, a lot of guys know that we had you on the Black and White podcast
Yes,
with Vince Russo and I,
yes,
and I had to tell people that didn't see it, that wasn't aware of it, because a lot of my fans they don't really care for Vince too much. It is what it is.
right.
But so I told them I was going to get you on, and this was several months ago. I told them I was going to get you on, and you and I would chop it up like brothers do,
Right,
you know?
right,
Because over here, we ain't got to watch what we say and
exactly.
all this other stuff and be politically correct. Those are two
Right,
things that I really hate doing unless I'm getting paid for it. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
When I'm getting paid for it, brother, I'm a whole nother guy.
right. Mm-hmm.
When I'm just letting loose, then you seeing the real dog. That's what's
Exactly.
up.
That's what I want.
Okay. Well, hey, man, the people want to know. Tell us about your book. Tell us the name of your. Do you have your book with you right now? Why don't you
Yes.
put it up on the camera and let everybody see it?
Let me see if this everybody can see
There
this.
you go,
The
right there.
Pro Wrestling's Black World Champions, and it's follow up to the original. I got the original around here somewhere. The original publication that my brother wrote back in 2009, and my brother Julian, and he passed in June of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he started writing about Black professional wrestlers in 1999, and he was pretty much the authorities as in terms of writing about
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the Black wrestlers. And when he passed, going through his stuff, I found that first publication, which was really a small little ebook that he had put out, and I
Okay.
was like, okay, good way to pay tribute to my brother is to update it, because a few more people have held the championship title. And since
Mm-hmm.
it's his book that I'm really updating, that's why his name is on here as well.
Okay.
I had to give my brother his props, because I was really just trying to follow up what he started.
Now, were you and your brother big wrestling fans coming up as kids?
Oh, absolutely. Man, it was all through my family. My mom, dad, grandma, everybody watched professional wrestling. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, what inspired your brother to go in the field of, chronicling the African American professional wrestler, and then, with all that being said, do a book about it? What kind of maybe you know, maybe you don't know. I don't know if you guys ever discussed it. What kind of pushed him to do something like that, or did he just want people to be aware of something of which maybe they didn't know about?
Yes, that's certainly a part of it. Black culture has always been something that me and my brother were always interested in.
Okay.
Um, he, in addition to having been a college professor himself, he also worked as a librarian, and he was one of those who was the bookmobile librarian. He drove the bookmobile around, and
Oh, okay. Great.
service people. So he's used to being archiving, stories about people and that kind of thing. And the way this came about was when JYD died,
Mm-hmm.
and he was looking up information on it. Again, this is a librarian, so he's around
Right.
books and
But
around
all day
stuff
long.
all the
Yeah.
time. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, man, there's hardly nothing on this man.
Mm.
And so he started looking at it and say, okay, wow, all these great Black professional wrestlers lived and had died, and there's nothing out there on them.
Right.
So he wrote that book as a way of giving tribute to the black wrestlers, professional wrestlers, so that they could get some recognition.
Right. Okay,
And
I
he
didn't know that.
wasn't
I wasn't aware of
judgmental at all. It was every black person who suited up and wrestled.
Right.
He had them profiled in that book.
That's good. Okay, a lot of people, I don't know if they're privy to this. Your brother, I never met him, but I saw him on BET.
Yes.
I saw him.
Yes.
You know, when who was it? Tavis Smiley,
Tavis Smiley. Yes.
who just got kicked off of TV. Was that public broadcasting?
Mm-hmm.
I can see that coming a mile off. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. Okay. Your brother goes on BET and he's promoting his book, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right.
And people, I'm going to tell you this. I talked with David about this before, you know, and I gave him my most inner feelings about the whole thing. Show y'all what WCW did. Now, me and my brother has brought tag team wrestling back to the forefront. First in global on ESPN, and then we go to WCW, that's on TBS, TNT, all over the world. Okay? Now, we have brought and been an intricate part of bringing tag team wrestling back to the forefront where people can watch it again and make it mean something again. But when Mr. Shabazz's brother, what was your brother's name again? I'm sorry.
Julian.
Julius. Julian?
Julian, yeah.
Okay. When Julian goes on BET promoting his book about the African-American wrestler, WCW takes it upon themselves to send representatives to talk about this. You hear me, Calcutta? Follow me on this, Calcutta. I'm not playing right now. You know who they sent, Calcutta? Queen, you know who they sent? They sent Ernest Miller, Charmel, and my brother to talk about things other than my brother, to talk about things of which they know nothing of. Y'all representing and talking about what? And it pissed me off.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with your brother. Your brother didn't know. He probably just watching them on TV. I don't know, Calcutta. Because they probably thought I was going to get up there and really say something that they didn't want to hear. I know why. Y'all know me. I don't hold back. Mr. Shabazz, Julian would have knew. Julian would have knew before he sit down in the other seat.
Yeah.
Behind the curtains. Before you behind the curtains. Like Mr. Wizard. I would have pulled the curtain back. That's what they didn't want, Calcutta. But that's a misrepresentation. This is about black professional wrestlers. My brother is a legitimate wrestler. The other two at that time, they were in the business. But were their heart and soul in this when they got in the business? You see what I'm saying? Big difference. Calcutta, you're right. Calcutta just said, you are the great person to educate the community. You're right, Calcutta. Now, David, I'm not trying to, I'm just letting a little steam off right now, but I just wanted people to know about that. Now, where were you at that time when this was going down, and do you remember it?
I was at home. Yeah. I
watching TV?
Watching TV, yes.
Okay. And that's it? You're just watching? You didn't get the same, you didn't ask yourself, what they doing up there, brother? I want to see somebody that really laid it down. You didn't ask that? I want to know.
No, I didn't. Everybody was like, we fans of everybody, so I was happy to see him. But now, you should have been on there. They should have had the Harlem Heat, because you guys
period
champions at that time.
Period.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Period.
Right. I agree.
Okay, but go ahead. Oh, go ahead. I mean, that just had to get that off. And
I think they were trying to, be diversified in their coverage, and no offense to nobody. I think they wanted a female, so I think that's why they had Charmel on there. And this is totally my opinion. I have no idea.
you never asked your brother about this. God rest his soul, Julian. I never met him. I wish I could have, cause I have him. He be right here, right now. We be talking about this
He'd be
right now
instead of me.
Oh, Julian. Woo.
Now he had no part in the programming and the deciding who's going to be on the show.
Now, are you sure? Are you sure of that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. And see, Real Cool just said they were scared of old Ray Dog. I think so, Real Cool. I think so, because you know me, I ain't hey. We're going to talk about, first of all, I would have loved to have read the book, or at least read some of it, whereas I could go on the show and talk about the book and then talk about the way I look at the African-American professional wrestler over the years, and then, and then make the show mean something. What Tavis Smiley know about black professional wrestlers? What do you know? Nothing. What do you know? He asked some questions that he's chronicled together, and why didn't black wrestlers get more notoriety? He probably would have said something like that.
Right.
And I would have said, why are you on BET and not CNN? That's what I would have said to him. So then I would have let him know why. Do that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is Tavis Smiley. I like Tavis. I'm making fun of him right now, but I like that. But come on, the representation should have been better. I understand you talking about the diversity and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, brother, professional wrestling to me is something near and dear to my heart. Something that I love, something that I had blood, sweat, and tears to get into, something that Harlem Heat did that no other team had ever done. That's something to talk about, and that's something to be proud of. So for WCW, which I held them responsible for, and I told you I went and had some conversation with them about it because it really pissed me off. Not that I got anything against Charmel, not that I got anything to do with Ernest Cat Miller, who's a very good friend of mine, but representation. If we're going to put something out there and we're going to chronicle what's real, you go to the end, the depth, to get the best people to represent what you do and the product that you're putting out. Now, who wouldn't agree with that?
I totally agree, and I really think that they knew. I think I agree with you, because WCW made the decision on who to send, and so they consciously made a decision not to send you, because it was totally their choice. So they probably said, "Oh, well, Stevie Ray is a loose cannon, so we better not send him."
No, wait a minute, Doc. Don't call me no loose. Well, wait a minute. Don't you talk about representation? Don't misrepresent me. Don't do that. What you talking about? I ain't no loose cannon.
The way they feel it, the way they see it, that's how they saw it. I think you're just keeping it real. Everybody don't want you to keep it real.
Hence the birth of the podcast. So you speak the truth and you see it with the outfit. Yeah, you're right. That's my boy Punisher. You're right, Punisher. But I was glad to see that even back then, because I couldn't remember his name. But when we had you on the Black and White podcast, and I told Vince, I said, I remember another guy writing a book years ago about black professional wrestlers. And then when you came on the show and you said that was your brother, I was like, this is amazing, man. This is amazing. So I'm glad to see you keeping his legacy going, and I'm glad to see you, still involved in trying to get that message out there. Now, your brother's book, how well did it go over with the public? Did he make it in also what do they call it? Audibles, audiobooks? Did he make it into that also?
No, it was only a printed book. That's the best selling book that he had. He put that
Mm,
out into three different volume editions of that book. I mean, it sold a couple of thousand copies.
that's
That
great.
was it was a yeah bigger than the best selling book out of all the books that he put out.
Wow. I imagine if we had podcasting and stuff like that back then, probably would have done 10 times better. You
Exactly.
know, 10 times better. He could have promoted it from within also, you know. But going back, we at the day and time now, how is your book different than Julia's book? What do you
His book
chronicle that he doesn't?
Yes, his book just featured every black professional wrestler. He was like
Mm-hmm.
really trying to be more of a historian type, trying to make
Oh,
sure that
okay.
everybody was noted. Um, Mine followed up on the one he first put out like 10 years later, the pro wrestling, the black champions, the world heavyweight champions. So
Mm-hmm.
this one is just focusing on, it only has 21 people in it because it's focusing on those people who held the world heavyweight champion at
Mm-hmm.
one of the recognized major federations.
Okay. Very
WCW,
interesting. Very interesting.
WWF,
Mm-hmm.
WWE. Um, and I updated it to AEW as well.
Okay. Um, so pretty much WWE, WCW, and the current AEW,
Right.
but not ECW. I guess you guys don't look at them as a major organization. It's okay, you can say it
No, no,
because see, I'm Devon Dudley is gonna be on the show. I hope he's watching right now.
we did actually, and one of the in the 2009 original publication, he had
Uh
Mark
huh.
Henry in there and had him as
Okay.
like a special asterisk because he was, I think, the ECW champion at the time. They weren't independent,
I got
so
you.
it's kind of like, okay, WCW owns him now, so he's not really a independent major federation. But yeah, we did recognize them as a major federation.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. I wasn't aware of that, but I don't think they had any African American champions. Oh, they did. They had Mark Henry. Well, Mark
Yeah,
Henry was also. You remember when WWE had the WWE champion and the world heavyweight champion?
right.
You
I
remember
remember
that?
that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to I'm going to ask you this because it's like it's a big difference between the two. I myself have always said if you didn't hold the WWE heavyweight championship belt, you didn't hold the championship belt because the world championship belt is underneath. It
Right.
doesn't represent the country. Now, how did you guys distinguish the difference between that? Or did you?
Yes. It's only those people who held the heavyweight championship, not that world heavyweight championship. And there were, because some people on other shows that asked me about people like Sasha Banks, and I was like, well, no, we weren't recognizing a brand champion, not taking anything away from her, but we
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't recognize the Raw champion or the SmackDown champion or like the ECW champion when they were under
Mm-hmm.
WWF or
Right.
E. And
Right.
yeah, so that was how we distinguish those. None of those, like, even as great as Jade Cargill is doing in AEW, she's not the AEW Women's World Heavyweight Champion. She's the TBS champion.
Oh, okay.
So we're not getting into all of those little.
You know, David, I don't even recognize how AEW is doing their. I'm like the girl is 50 something and old. Do they even have an AEW women's belt?
Yes. And the person who is profiled in here in my book is Nyla Rose because she held the championship. I don't think she's the champion at this moment.
Okay.
But they do have a women's recognized world heavyweight championship.
Okay, if she got the TBS belt, which means, well, I don't know what it means. Maybe you guys, hey guys up there, if you guys can get to distinguish between what's what, y'all let me know because I'm as confused as hell. Now going back to the WWE heavyweight. Now, I once saw Mark Henry being interviewed on television. I can't remember what station it was, but he was being interviewed by man, I can't remember his name now. The brother's name. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. Guy, he's a political pundit. Does the political interviews and stuff like that. Little black guy. I can't remember his name. I wish I had noted that before I came on, but I didn't know I was going to ask you about it. But anyway, he was asking Mark Henry, why hasn't there ever been a African American world heavyweight champion? And Mark Henry told him that there has been many world heavyweight champions, and he put his name in there as a, but the guy was asking about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt. Now, I don't remember how many years ago this was, but this was when Mark was still active. He wasn't in ECW then. He was WWE then. So, oh, yeah, that's right, because they had the ECW title with the WWE stuff at one time, right?
Right.
It was all together like a bowl of gumbo. I forgot all about that. I forgot about that. You're right. That's when they were still recognized, and the World Heavyweight belt was the old WCW belt.
Mm-hmm.
And the ECW belt stayed the ECW deal. So, yeah. So, when you guys do your research and things of that nature, to me, one man's opinion, Calcutta, yes, they do. I think the TBS women's belt can only be defended on TBS. Okay. Are you talking about the manager of Ethan Page, Matt Hardy? No, I'm not talking about them, Calcutta. But yeah, your information was greatly appreciated. That's exactly what I was, because I didn't know that. I thought she was the women's heavyweight champion. Shows you how much I know and how much I keep up with stuff. David just informed me that she's the TBS champion, so now I understand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what I'm saying is this, going back to the WWE thing, because a lot of people look at the WWE as the driving force on this, that, and the other. They don't even bring up the fact that Ron Simmons held the WCW heavyweight title. Don't even recognize it, like it never happened, Almost like, some of the Black Wall Streets of America. They act like they never happened. They act, they don't even acknowledge that so many of them are underwater right now because of what happened, that they built lakes over them. They don't talk about that. But you know who talks about it?
Stevie Ray.
You know who ain't scared to talk about it?
Ray Dog ain't scared to talk about it.
No, dog, yeah. I bring it up, sucker. I let people know real here. They try to cover it up. They try to cover up a lot of stuff. But I pull the old curtain back, just like they did Mr. Wizard on the Wizard of Oz. Okay? I pull the curtain back on your ass.
Who the man behind that curtain?
Yeah, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Yeah, pay attention. It's what you're supposed to do. But anyway, when we get to that, then my brother held the WCW World Heavyweight title.
Right.
But they act like those guys never existed. Now, when it comes to you guys' book, how did you guys acknowledge that for that, or just WWE acknowledgement?
Oh,
of who
no,
the heavyweight champion was.
We acknowledged everybody, and even the two calling forerunners, if you will, Bearcat Wright and Bobo Brazil.
Okay.
Because they held versions of the heavyweight title at that time. They may have been kind of territorial, but they were heavyweight champions. They were recognized by the federation at that time. And we certainly looked at WCW. Ron Simmons is definitely in there. Booker T is definitely in there. And, and I agree with you about them burying WCW. And that's always been my problem with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon acts, that's why I didn't want him to own everything, because he acts like if it didn't come through him, it don't exist. Your brother Booker T, I think, actually broke the mold, because I didn't think, because he never let Ron Simmons get close to the belt.
Right.
I didn't think he would let nobody but one of his people hold that belt.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with when Ron came over, and a lot of people will remember this. When Ron came over to Vince, WCW had pretty much put him in the midst of everyone else. And if you can remember, when Ron got the belt from Vic Van Vader, he was the heavyweight champion, but only in conversation.
Woo!
Because when you are the heavyweight champion, see, WCW did this way before WWE did it. When you put a belt on the guy, but the guy is not the focal point of the company. He's not the face of the company. He's not the LeBron James of the company.
Right.
He's the Penny Hardaway of the company.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Big difference. You're supposed to pull the wagon. You're not just sitting on the damn wagon.
Right.
Or waiting for the wagon to pass by. Like you do a Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Nothing against Kofi, but you won the heavyweight belt, but you never got pushed like the heavyweight champion.
Right.
Ron Simmons had the heavyweight belt, and he not in the main event. How that work?
Right. He's supposed to be the franchise. And
How that work?
Totally disrespected him.
That's what I'm talking about. Because, see, it's like this. And they tried to do it to us, too, in a lot of ways. But me and my brother wasn't standing for it. They put the belts on us, but still want us to be the jabronis. Oh, we got the belt on them, just change it. But we still want them to be, to come out and act like this, did not. No, it ain't happening. Baby, I'm straight off the corner. I know game when I see game. You dig?
Right.
I know game, bro. I'm full of it. Full of game. Yeah. So we want the music, we want the fire, we want to get pushed like the best.
Exactly.
And when you put the heavyweight belt on somebody, no need of putting it on him if he's not going to be the face of the company.
Right.
So what you doing for? Tokenism? If that's a word. You're an educator.
Yes.
You're an educator.
Yes.
That tokenism?
Speak on it.
I ain't trying to be no token, baby.
Right.
I came here to play.
Yeah.
I came here to put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. I've been like that all my life. Put me in. I don't want to sit over here with the David Shabazzes of the world while he over there sitting on the bench. I don't want to be over here. That's my boy. I don't want to sit over here with him. Let him freeze over here on the bench.
Put me in the game.
No offense, David. I'm just letting you know you're my boy. You're my man, 50 grand and all, but I don't want to be sitting on. Hey, I'm ready to play, brother.
Because I'm the one watching TV. You won't be sitting with me watching. You want to be out there. Right.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. And they did the same thing, because when they did it with Ron, they were still pushing Sting as the guy. When they and they were still pushing Vader as the guy, and he got the belt off Vader,
Right.
And when they did it, when they did it with my brother, they still had the Flairs, still the man. They still had the Goldbergs, still the this, that, and the others, the Stings, the Lex Luger. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
All those guys were still, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Considered up here, and we're just letting you hold a seat for a minute. That kind of stuff.
Right.
Oh, brother, I'm just telling it like it is.
Right.
I'm just telling it like it is. So a lot of
Yeah.
people might have held belts. Didn't Bobby Lashley just have the belt not too long ago?
Yes.
You see my point?
And now they got
Was he the
kind of
focal point of the show? Did they push him like they pushed the Roman Reigns? Did they push him like they pushed Brock Lesnar or
right.
things like that? Did they do that?
No, not at
Okay,
all. And
so
he's
it's a
mid-card
bigger.
now.
Go ahead.
He's basically a mid-carder now.
Yeah, exactly. So when you do that, if everything else don't come with it, what we doing it for?
Right.
What we doing it for?
You're
I
right.
don't want no belt to be in the tokenism world. Now, a lot of people might think that, but the thing is, in the professional wrestling business, when they put a belt on you, they're pretty much letting you know how much they appreciate your hard work and you're putting asses in seats. It's the same thing in the music business. You know, it's the same thing in the acting business. It's the same thing in the dancing business. It's the same thing. When you become the player, I'm going to give you a 4-movie deal. At this much per movie. And this much on the back end. Other than that, you ain't getting no movies. You're going to be still on doing guest appearance on the Beverly Hillbillies. That's where you're going to be.
Right.
Mannix. Streets of San Francisco. Yeah, you make a couple of bucks. But you ain't a player.
But right.
You ain't in the entire Inferno.
Yeah.
Like OJ was. That's right, I said it. OJ. Paul Newman. Yeah. Steve McQueen. You a player. Let's call it what it is, brother. That's why this is the world's most dangerous podcast. I ain't holding nothing back. I'm just letting people know. That's how it should be. Other than that, I don't want the belt. For what? Just for the belt to do something? Heavyweight belt used to mean something. Now what is it? You tell me.
You know, I could see WCW going down when they start putting the belt on David Arquette. You know, you're gonna have an actor come in and and be the world heavyweight champion. I understand they use gimmicks, but come on now. Come on.
I wish you hadn't brought that up. I was trying to forget. I was actually trying to forget that, bro. You know, there's certain things in life, certain things in your career that you just try to forget, and they're actually gone. And then somebody like you just bring it back up, and now I gotta go through trying to suppress it in the medulla of my brain again for the next 20 years. Oh my goodness.
Well, let me change gears a little bit, if you don't mind. Let me ask you.
What's up?
And I know it's your show, so pardon me for doing this. But
after that, the floor is yours.
I know that you are a strategic person.
Okay.
So let me ask: when you put together the Ebony Experience,
okay,
what was your mission? What was your vision? Did you see?
It wasn't my vision, David. It wasn't my vision, David. It wasn't mine.
Okay.
It was Eddie Gilbert's vision.
Okay.
Man, I tell you this, David. I'm glad you brought that up, and I'll discuss it right now. Jimmy just said we were just discussing David Arquette last week. I think we did, yeah. I tried to forget it. I had forgotten. David brought it back up again. I guess it's ingrained in my head forever now. But
can't let you forget.
Oh, man, please let me forget, man. I was sitting right there watching this. Let me forget, man. I want to forget. Now I know how a soldier feels when he says, I want to forget Iwo Jima. Okay? I want to forget Vietnam. Now I know how a soldier feels.
Right.
And then you bring it back up and I got to relive that carnage.
My bad.
I'm like, I can't escape. I can't escape. But going back to your Ebony Experience deal, that was all Eddie Gilbert. Me and my brother had no We had no thoughts in any way, shape, or form on being a tag team.
Wow.
No, a lot of people think we set out to be a tag. No, we became a tag team because I had went down to Global for an interview because we were singles wrestlers, and my brother went with me because I didn't feel like driving all the way to Dallas by myself.
Right.
And I'm like, hey man, you never know, they might be looking for other talent, but they were looking for me because they had seen me in a bunch of the independent magazines. Back in those days, they had the independent wrestling magazine. So I went up as a heel. I called myself the Super Collider back then. And I walked in Eddie Gilbert's office for my interview, and my brother walked in behind me. And Eddie was like, who's he? Because you know how the wrestling business is. You not in this meeting. What you doing walking? What you doing walking in here with a Fred Williamson maxi coat on? You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. And Eddie looked up and was like, who is that? And I looked behind me and I see my brother had walked in also. I said, oh, that's my brother. And Eddie was like, your brother? Nobody told me you had a brother. Does he work? And I go, yeah. He go, really? And then he sat down in his seat and was like, and didn't say nothing. He was just sitting there looking like that.
Wow.
And I'm sitting here like, damn, did we do something wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying? I hope we didn't offend the dude. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't say nothing for a few seconds, maybe about 10 seconds. And when you getting ready to do a meet, 10 seconds is a long time. It felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But he was like, how long has he been working? I said, oh, no, we started in the business together. He go, really? And he sit there and thought for a little bit more. He said, I'll tell you guys what. He said, I got an idea, but I got to think about it. You guys come back and we'll have a meeting next week. That was a meeting. So we left, went home. We don't know what's going on. Went back the next week. After he got through TV taping, we went in his office. We sat down again. He said, hey, I've been thinking. I've been looking to put together a babyface tag team, that are minority. The guys speak well, dress well, and I can push them with this crowd down here. You guys think y'all can do that? And we looked at each other like, yeah, we can do it.
Right.
And then he said, oh yeah, have you guys ever tag team together before? And then we looked at each other and my brother said, yeah, man, we tag all the time. My brother was lying his ass off. He lying his ass off. We had never, ever tagged before. Never. We had never touched each other's hand before. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, wow. Whatever you want, we can do, man. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we can. So I get in on the lie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now we both complicit for this lie. You know what I'm saying? We don't want this lie to blow up in our face,
Right.
You don't want Eddie to go, hey, man, them two suckers told me they could tag together. They look like crap. So now we gotta eat it, brother. Now it's like, oh God. But in essence, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Me and my brother had tagged against each other before.
Oh wow.
In matches. Because people didn't know we were brothers. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a heel and he was a babyface.
Right.
So we crossed paths, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And tag matches against me and somebody against him and somebody, So
right.
So in essence, were we lying? Depending on how he structured that question. Isn't that what Bill Clinton said?
Right.
Okay.
you both have worked as tag team before. You may not have been together, but you in tag matches.
I don't know what context he was actually asking that question. I don't know. I thought he was asking me, have y'all, any kind of tagging? Right. I don't know. So all of that was Eddie Gilbert's vision, man. So when you asked me that question, it wasn't mine. It was his. We come back the next week to go do our trial match. Eddie is fired. He's not there. Wow. So in essence, we remembered our training from Scott Casey. We did what we had to do. They come up and tell him, well, we know Eddie gave you Eddie promised you a tryout. That don't mean you don't have a job. Whatever. We know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Right. We know what's up. You're going to kill, the guy we working with, they getting fired tonight. And Booker T and Stevie Ray didn't even get off the ground. So we're going to go out here. Yeah, that's how it all started. And we went out there and remembered what Eddie told us, and we remembered how Scott Casey trained us, and the rest is history.
Wow.
That's a true story. That's a true story.
Wow.
Yeah. So we remember what Eddie wanted from us, that we always dress nice and try to talk, you know what I'm saying, relatively, correct grammar, not like we talked in WCW, you know what I'm saying? Not like, hey, sucker, yeah, it's gonna be nah, I couldn't be that, You know what I'm saying? It's like, right. And you come down here, the babyface bull crap, you know what I'm saying? But with a little street slang on it, So that was the whole gimmick, brother. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But credit my man, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. That was his vision.
Wow.
And it got us all the way to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
We met Eddie one time after that. And you remember Eddie died a few years after that. So we never got a chance to really, tell him how much we appreciate his vision. But we always had his vision in our head because he sit down and told us, this is what I want from you guys. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. I want you to dress this way, blah, blah, blah. Man, I really think that'll work. It'll be this and that, And I was like, we were like, wow. Yeah. True story.
Wow. Okay. Man.
True story. Anything else? It was crazy. It was crazy. I didn't really emphasize a lot of stuff that went down, but it was crazy. But people didn't want us to make it, man. Even the crowd even talked about it and called us every racial epithet known to man as we walked out for our first match and stuff like that. And then we won them over, and then we wouldn't promise the job. But we went back to get our stuff and get out of there because we just wanted to show them we could do this, and we got a chance to show them. And then they walked up to us and go, can you guys come back next week? I'll never forget it. I'm not promising you a job, but can you come back next week? Yeah, we come back next week.
Yeah.
Then after the next week, it was like, can you guys come back next week? You know what I'm saying? And next week never stopped until we left and went to WCW. So that's a true story.
Wow. Man.
Jimmy Tibbs said Eddie had a great mind for the business. Not many knew about. Oh, everybody back in Mid-South and all that stuff, they knew Jimmy. Eddie Gilbert was the truth, brother. That guy had something in his head. Because if it wasn't for Eddie Gilbert, Jimmy Tibbs is usually he does Mondays every other Monday, and that dude was the truth. Eddie Gilbert, a lot of that stuff back in the old Mid-South and all that was all Eddie, man. He helped a lot of people make it in the business, man, and I'm grateful to him, brother. I'm truly grateful to him, David. I'm truly grateful to him. But going back to what we were talking about, the black champions and, things of that nature. Why wouldn't I? I was the global heavyweight champion.
Yes.
So why wasn't I in your brother's book then?
You were. I know. Well,
What?
not in not in that not in
First of all,
that
first
particular
he don't
book.
want to get me on BET. Then he don't even want to acknowledge me as a heavyweight champion. That's cool. Go ahead.
Well, because that wasn't one of the
I was
major.
on ESPN every day.
It was a major
I'm all
independent.
over the world. I go to the Caribbean and the people asking me about what I'm talking about. Now you talking about some of these suckers, then nobody know who they was. Yeah, I got a problem with that. Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now. Mm-hmm.
Well, I tried my best to correct it by in this one I have Harlem Heat in there, so it's not just Booker T. Even though it's not supposed to have tag teams in there, I recognize, you should have been in there.
That's okay, dog. I'll let y'all off the hook. I'll give myself my own credits. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'm not gonna wait for you. I'm not gonna wait for you. To give me credits. I'm not gonna do that. I will take upon myself to enlighten the fans what's really going on. But that's cool.
Right.
It's all good, dog. It's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Shabazz. He's here. We're talking about the great African American professional champions in professional wrestling. And I'm telling you right now, it's an engaging conversation. You guys look this guy up. You guys follow this guy. You guys go out and buy that book so you can really learn what's really going on, even though. There it is, right there. Hold it up again, Dave. Hold it up again. There it is, right there. Pro Wrestling Black World Champions. Go out and check that out. And this man right now, Mr. David Shabazz, he's on the World's Most Dangerous podcast talking to a black world champion and doesn't even acknowledge him. Don't even acknowledge me. Like I'm just chopped liver. Okay? It's all good. It's all good, dog. You know what I mean? Y'all got to do what y'all got to do. But I'm bringing it to the forefront. But the champion has to represent as a champion. Now, you remember, I'm going to tell you somebody. Now, back in the territories, and see if you agree with this, David. Mm-hmm. Back in the territories, when an African American, I don't even acknowledge that picture. I don't acknowledge that. Okay, whatever. If I got anything in there, I'm good.
You will cut me. No, thank you for cutting me some slack.
I appreciate it. I mean, I just said whatever I can get. That's what I'm saying right now. That's what I'm saying right now. But let me see if you agree with this, David. Mm-hmm. Back in the territory days, when the guys like the Junkyard Dog, Bobo Brazil, Ernie Ladd, when some of those guys were given the belt, they represented that area. Yes. They represented that area proudly. How do you feel about that? And that's what I'm talking about when you're talking about the big organizations. Something might go here, but they still treat him, you know what I'm saying? He's not the big face on the program. How do you feel about that?
Man, that was the golden age of wrestling as far as I'm concerned, because in those like you said, those territories, those guys were kings in that territory, at least, mm-hmm. and the beauty of it was not being on television was that you could go to another territory, you could be somebody else, you could try out another gimmick and see if it works somewhere.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, they were legends in that territory, and I think I remember seeing a book years later after my brother put his, somebody wrote one on JYD called like the King of New Orleans or something like that, after the fact. They're recognizing it now.
Right.
And that's a wonderful thing. That's, if that's what my brother was trying to do, if he could get people to recognize the great contributions that the African American wrestlers had done, that's the whole point. Because a lot of the other white, wrestlers, they had articles and books written on them, but people
Right.
weren't really recognizing the contributions of the African American wrestlers.
Even documentaries.
Right,
Even
right.
documentaries. Now, and that's what I was saying. I'll finish my point that I started. It just popped back in my head. That was the difference between when Ron went to WWE as opposed to when my brother went to WWE. My brother went to WWE as the champion.
Right.
Ron went as a person that used to be a champion that we done pretty much buried like Black Wall Street.
Yes. Yes.
So
Good
Vince, so if he had a went when he had just, lost the belt or something like that, I think that would have been different as to how Vince would have pushed it. I think, but then again, on another note, Vince McMahon and the WWE have a history of stereotypical ideas that they have for the African American wrestler.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay? So with Ron coming in as Farouk and not Ron Simmons,
Right.
I mean, think about that. I myself, and you can ask my boy Andrew Anderson this. We were down in New Orleans when when I met Jimmy Tibbs a few years ago. We was down in New Orleans, and it was me, Andrew Anderson, I can't remember who else, a couple other the boys, Ernest the Cat Miller, and the Boogeyman. Okay?
Yeah.
The Boogeyman.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm asking the Boogeyman about his gimmick. I'm just messing with him, what I'm saying, stuff like that. And then I got to thinking about it. Me and Andrew Anderson started having this conversation. This is no lie. And I say, Andrew, you know what I want to do? He said, what? I said, I want to do a book about every stereotypical African Zulu warrior with a bone in his nose character that professional wrestling has done with African American wrestling. This is no lie. And I still want to do it. I forgot about it for a while, but now when we're having this conversation, I want to bring it back up. So that is what I'm talking about. Now, Ron Simmons is a former Heisman Trophy candidate.
Right. Right.
All-American football player. Extreme worker, wrestler that got over with the people.
True.
Whether he was heel or babyface.
True.
But the best thing they could do for him, and this is not personal. I'm just talking about the gimmicks here, okay? I'm not talking about the individuals. I'm just talking about the gimmicks because a lot of people that's not of color, sometimes they do not know how to evaluate things when it's coming out of people's mouths because you never had to think about it before. But that's what I'm here for. I'm going to think for you. I'll help you, okay? And if you have a problem with something, just ask me, and I can really, really dissect it for you. Because these are things sometimes you don't really have to think about because it's normal in your world. Because you can't see things from personal color. And that's not a slight on anybody, and that's not disrespect for anybody. Just trying to let you see what's what. Because y'all know how I lay it down. Y'all already know. I'm not the one. But anyway, going back to what you were just talking about, or what we were just talking about, Ron Simmons has all those accolades attached to him. I'm not even getting to the accolades that got attached to him as a professional wrestler. And this is what you put on him.
Right. So why would you bury him under a name Farouk and keep him under that name? Other people, they've given him different gimmicks and changed them. Even when he was with Bradshaw and APA, they kept him as Farouk.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
Farouk. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not talking about him per se. I'm talking about that ideology with many professional African-American wrestlers. I'm not just talking about him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using him as an example because anybody knows me. I love Ron to death. He's like a brother to me. took care of me when I first came up, took care of me and my brother when we first came up to WCW. I love the man immensely, but I just thought, but I'm quite sure Ron has no gripes about it. But what I'm trying to do is give an overall picture to people. Right. I'm trying to get an overall picture as to the stereotypical mindset of the WWE. Now, if I was you, Mr. Shabazz, or if I was your brother, these are the things I'm going to talk about. Yes, I'm going to talk about the champions, but I'm going to talk about how you are reluctant to make us look like a champion when it's really called for. What about that?
And that definitely needs to be talked about. And I remember when my brother first started on his tour, going on TV and all with the book, those questions always came up.
Well, how did he respond?
His answer was, "That's not my focus. I'm not talking. I'm trying to shed some light on those African American wrestlers. I'm not here to talk about the
See, that's what I'm saying. If your brother, they lucky I wasn't on that show with, what's his name? Tavis Smiley. Yeah, they lucky I wasn't on there. And you see why Tavis Smiley, they done kicked him off for dating the women on the show. What about, what I'm saying? I could have told him, Tavis, don't do this. You land on your feet. Don't do this. Oh, well, the dating was consensual. He can't listen to me. He didn't listen to me. Right. And I like Tavis, man. He good dude. But I'm just saying, brother, you're asking the wrong questions. But I know your brother was saying, he did. But no, those are the questions that people are going to ask. If you're going to get into, and you know this, with how culture is today, if you're going to get into anything as it pertains to African Americans, you're going to get that outside entity that pushes the envelope, that's trying to surmise what's really going on and not mask what's really going on. And I know it's not your brother's deal because he's just writing about, the champions. He's not in there calling the shots and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, same thing when I brought up the Mark Henry thing. And Mark Henry was like, yeah, they have been heavyweight champions. Yeah, and my man was like, well, where are they? Where are they? But he was talking about, a real champion that gets pushed like a champion. It's different between being a champion and then get pushed like a. You know what a champion? Like when the Honky Tonk Man became the television champion. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Do you know the Honky Tonk Man was the longest reigning TV champion back in those days?
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, that's a champion, bro. Now he come out here with his good.
Wow.
Tell him, Calcutta. These guys are writing comments while we're done. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He was the longest reigning Intercontinental champion up until they dropped it to the Ultimate Warrior. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. Because see, that belt, because of how that gimmick is, that belt made him a somebody.
Yeah.
Because, he doing the right shake, rattle, and roll and all this kind of stuff. And everybody else got the big muscles and stuff back in those days. And he's doing the Elvis Presley type gimmick. And by the fact that he's the champion, it made him look more precise than all the other guys.
Yeah.
That's what makes a belt mean something. Because it uplifted that guy and put him up here, semi-main event type guy now. Because he's got the second most warranted belt in the WWE at that time. Mm-hmm. So that's how this stuff works. Forget a belt for the hell of it. It's one thing they put the belt on you and the people they really don't go with him. Okay, we take the belt off him. Because when we first won the belts in Global, that's how it was. And then when we first won the belts in WCW. Okay, that's putting us on the map, or we want to do. Then it got to the point where, damn, I don't want to be champion no more. We work too much. I'm on every damn show. I'm on every damn house show. I can't get a break. When you put these belts on somebody else, no, this is no lie. This is a true story.
Right.
You're laughing at all this, brother. You hear the real stuff now.
I can
You
see
hear
it
the real
being
stuff.
Huh?
Huh?
House shows and everything that we don't see beyond just the television.
I'm like, damn, man, I got to work on Christmas?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Houston to Denver, Colorado, December the 25th. Okay. Got to do what you got to do for the business. But what I'm saying is we became the focal point of tag team wrestling.
Right.
In essence, even when they put the belt on other people, it wasn't the same to the audience. It wasn't the same. And we'd be like, oh, man, I'm glad somebody else got these belts, man. I'm glad. A few weeks later, Stevie, Booker, they want to see you in the office. Oh, yeah, what's up? We're going to put the belts back on you.
Like, man, you feel great.
No, I mean, no. You can't act like no punk now. You got, that's what I'm saying in my head.
Right.
But I can't say that in front of you. I got to be, just like when you go and talk to your principal, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, what do you need? Oh, whatever you need, man. We're there, Oh, yeah. No problem.
Right.
And we walk out of there and see each other back in the hotel and be like, motherfucker. God damn it. Man, I want it off on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Right.
But it was what it was, man. It was what it was. And, it was a great ride. But I'm just giving you some of the personal side of,
right.
The belts. In essence, what I'm saying, you was a somebody. You became a made man when they put the belt on you, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. In those days, anyway. Not so much now, because tell me what you think about this, David. And the audience, too. Y'all tell me what you think about this. What's up, Repo? Today's belt is not used like it was yesteryear because the product sells everything now, not the individuals so much. That's why the belt can go from person to person to person to person to person to person. Whereas back in the day, one heavyweight champion had the belt forever.
Right. Right.
So the belt didn't change hands, but every few years.
Uh-huh.
So, but now I think you look at how the belt changes hands. It's been people that was heavyweight champion. I didn't even know it. So what do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that as far as champions go? Does the champion today mean the same as champions of yesterday?
No. Because you're right. The champion used to be the star. Now the company is,
Right.
And not so, like you say. So the belt can be put on anybody who we deem worthy of it. Whereas man, somebody like Harley Race, held that belt, and you respected him.
Right. Right.
So you respected the champion back then, but like you said, now, I mean, it just comes and goes. It doesn't have the same meaning that it did back then.
And I think that's a part of pop culture also. Because if you think about it, let's say just put it in a pop culture way, and we've talked about this off the air. I remember growing up when somebody had a Mercedes-Benz, that was a somebody.
Yeah.
Now everybody and his grandmama can drive a Mercedes-Benz. You see the difference?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See the difference?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just what not so much as professional wrestling have evolved to, but I think that's in everything and everybody. Because you can't sell stuff when the world is changing. You just can't sell a few and make money.
Right.
You got to sell a lot and make money.
I kind of think that WWE may be recognizing that by
Mm-hmm.
pulling back Roman Reigns a little more.
Mm.
You know, he hadn't been on TV as much as he had been. I think, lately I think they recognized that and trying to pull him back some because he was pretty much on SmackDown every week.
Mm-hmm.
And now not so much. They may send, the Usos out there, may even send Paul Heyman out there to
Right.
talk and Roman not being there. Like you said, I respect that because that's making you lose the prestige, like you were saying. When you can see them all the time,
Right.
it's not as prestigious.
Exactly. Now, Repo just said about the use of the tool to get the person over for a bit. And this day and age, it's too much 50-50 bookings, and nobody truly benefits except for the people that are already on top. I can agree with that, Repo. I really
Right.
can. And Real Cool just said they're all interchangeable parts. I can see that too. I can see that too. But that's where we are right now, man. And when the champions, I say on this show a lot, champions are no champions. And the reason I say that is because it was only a few champions.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew what you had to do. And that's in any sport, whether it be boxing, uh, even back in football, basketball, baseball, it was only certain teams that won all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
From a different era. It's
Right.
like when the Chicago Bulls finally won a championship that was unprecedented. These suckers, the Chicago
Right.
Bulls, the only thing they ever had was Norm Van Leer
Right.
in the history of the club,
They not
and now they got
Showtime.
the champions. Right. You see how we was programmed for a Boston. We was programmed for a Lakers. We
Mm-hmm.
were programmed for Philly that had been a zillion times. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And lost us.
Right.
So in football, you were programmed for a Raiders, a Steelers, a Cowboys.
Cowboy. Mm-hmm.
80s, you had 49ers, Giants, Redskins.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? I'm just you
Uh-huh.
30-something team. We only talking about 6, 7, 8, 9 of them.
Right. Right.
Everybody else, see you at the
Right.
Super Bowl. And I wouldn't want to be you because you ain't gonna make it. But
Right.
things have changed now. You know what I'm saying? Things
Certainly
have
a
changed now.
Jacksonville and Carolina Panthers, those new they wouldn't be heard of.
Really? What y'all doing? What y'all doing around here? You know what I'm saying? So I think everything is changing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're talking about tennis with Venus and Serena, what they let two women that just got too much drive and too much athleticism. You should never let them two in the door because they made it bad for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't even y'all sign it up for second place. You know what I'm saying? That shit
Right.
don't draw money, especially the
Nope.
two chicks black. You know what I'm saying? What was the one chick named, a little Russian chick, Monomakova or something like that? She making $1
Yeah.
zillion and never win nothing. Remember that? She ain't never win
Right.
nothing and making $1 zillion because she was cute. You know what I'm saying? She's
Right.
a pretty girl. She ended up
Right.
marrying what was the guy's name? He was a singer. He's a Mexican singer. His dad was a singer too. She ended up marrying him. I ain't mad at her. I'm just talking about how
Right.
everything was good. You had the Jennifer Caprianis and all of these other people that would go back and forth and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. Then here come the Serena and Venus. And I'm like, it ain't one. It's two of them.
Two of them.
Yeah. See, they just messed up the whole apple cart and the money and everything. You know what I'm saying? They just messed it up for everybody. That's what you don't want, but that's what happened. Because, how many times do we see in the finals, they got to play each other?
Right. Right.
And two black chicks in tennis. This is an upper middle class affluent sport.
Sport. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Not from two chicks from Compton, dog. You know what I'm saying? They out here, and they ain't just beating us, they're destroying us.
Right. Right.
And they looking at each other like General Zog. Do you know who General Zog is from the Superman movie?
Yeah.
Remember
Yep.
General Zod come down to Earth and go, isn't there anybody on this planet that can even challenge me?
Right. Right.
That only supposed to go down in the movies, brother, not for real. Oh my goodness, man. That's what you don't want. You want everybody to have a chance, man, in
Right.
sports, in professional sports, but hey, man, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that's why professional wrestling is the way it is and this, that, and the other. And I don't know, bro. You got the last words, bro.
Man, I got another personal question. Well,
Okay,
not personal
go ahead.
question,
Go ahead.
but did you guys ever wrestle the Hollywood Blondes in WCW?
Steve Austin and
Austin and Brian Pillman.
no. We wrestled Brian Pillman. He was tagging with Chris Benoit.
Okay.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing.
They had broke them up,
Bluetooth connected.
and they started
Okay.
giving Austin a. Remember they put the intercon. I mean, what was it? What was the TV title?
United States.
No, it was the U.S. or the T. No, I think it was TV title because I remember Jim Duggan beat him for it, and after that he went up to Vince.
Okay.
Yeah, so they had broke them up before we. I think they had broke them up before we even got there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, they broke them up before we even got there. Right before we got there, you know what I'm saying? They had broke them up.
Okay.
But I wish we had though, because they had the belts for a while, but then they broke them up. I think they both wanted to be singles wrestlers.
I can see that.
Yeah, they both wanted to be singles wrestlers. Because I remember Pillman started having a feud with Lex Luger.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, wasn't now too long after we got there before he had got hurt. Steve Austin had got hurt. I can't remember what it was. And when he came back, they put the belt on Jim Duggan. Jim Duggan had just came in then from Vince. Repo just said right here, Jim Duggan beat Stunning Steve Austin because WCW United States Championship. Yeah, that's what it was. US
Okay.
belt.
That's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened, though. Yeah, I can barely remember those things. But then after that, shortly after that, I think they were trying to bury Steve Austin for some reason, from what I can remember. I can't remember who it was, but I remember Flair had the book then. It might have been Flair, I don't know. But they were trying to mess with him back then. I still remember it.
Wow.
I still remember him getting into some arguments behind the scenes with different people. And shortly after that, he was gone. He was up at Vince and he was calling himself the ringmaster or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the rest is history. Best
DiBiase,
thing could have happened. Best thing could have happened to him was somebody was trying to ruin his career in WCW. That's the best thing happened to him.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. My boy Kron just said something. He said, it was Flair who broke up the Hollywood Blondes, jealousy. And he might know. Some of the fans know more than what I know. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I've never had these conversations with anybody or nothing like that. But, just hearsay. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and I read somewhere that Flair actually said the worst thing WCW did was got rid of Steve Austin. And he had something to do with it.
Really?
Yeah, I remember reading that somewhere.
You might be right, man. You might be right. Because I remember, man, a lot. He was getting over so good. I'll tell you another thing that happened. We was on the house shows, and everybody, when everybody having good matches, when a couple of people having really good matches, on the house shows, people will come out and watch the matches. Us on the show, we come out and watch just to see how good they work together. When you can see that chemistry going on. This is true story. This is stuff people don't know about it. as far as professional wrestling goes. And I remember him and who was it? Oh, Ricky Steamboat.
Mm.
They were on the house shows working together. Wait a minute, Repo just said Eric Bischoff did not see nothing in stunning Steve Austin. Repo, if I had a little bit more time on the show, I'd go into that, but I'm not. I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you about that. But anyway, cause like I don't even know if I don't. When he left, I don't even think Eric had the book then. I don't think Eric had the book when Austin left. I think he was still Dusty and Ole. But anyway,
Right.
I could be wrong about that, but I think, or he maybe had just got the book. But anyway, those two every night, they was having a hell of a thing against each other. I mean, brother, we would go out and watch, and every night, brother, they was bringing the house down, and we leading up to a pay-per-view, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we can't wait to see what they do on the pay-per-view together. We can't wait.
Right.
I can't remember the name of the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view comes down, we get ready to do, everybody watching to see what they do on the pay-per-view. Because the house shows, they've been tearing it up. I mean, tearing it up where it make you jealous. Like, okay, we got to go out and do something. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like it's like the Temptations just watch the Four Tops. And then go, oh no. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, all the girls throwing their panties on the damn stage. Oh no. Wait till we get out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of competition, if you know what I'm saying. When people bringing the house down, you go, damn, boy, no, I gotta do that. So anyway, they get ready to do the pay-per-view. And we all waiting because we done told all the guys that ain't been on the show, man, these Jews been tearing it up, man, bringing it down. They get in the match for the pay-per-view, and they give them 5 or 6 minutes. They cut their time right before the match.
Wow.
Now, who was behind that?
Wow.
This true story. I don't think I ever. This one reason why I don't really like talking about stuff in professional wrestling unless it's something that really means something. I'm not one of those guys that like to talk about what discretions with other people. But yeah, somebody was a saboteur.
Definitely.
So when Repo said what he said, Repo, I would not be surprised. Human Tornado, what's up, my man? That's my favorite wrestler of all time. The Human Tornado. You ever seen him? Oh my God, he's pretty much on the independent circuit, but man, I used to watch his videos, man, and they would make me laugh so hard, man. Human Tornado. I had him on the show before too. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, that happened, brother. And they didn't get a chance to do nothing. We all looked at each other and were like, what happened? They going home? They going home already? You know? And yeah. And then we found out later, I think I was talking to Steamboat. Steamboat said, yeah, man, they cut our time right before we went. Because they've done us like that many times on the TV shows and the Thunders and the Monday Night Nitro and stuff like. You get ready to go out. Okay, you got 12 minutes, man. You get ready to go out. Somebody go, hey, man, they broke it down. You guys only got 6 minutes now or 7 minutes. Like, what? Oh, we'd already designed. We'd already designed a 12-minute match.
12 minutes? Yeah.
Right. But you just got to improvise. But on a pay-per-view, that's never happened to us. Not on a pay-per-view.
Okay.
But it's happened on the regular Monday shows or the Thursday shows, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or the Saturday night show, stuff like that. It never happened on the pay-per-view. Because the pay-per-view, you got more than enough time. You know what I'm saying? The pay-per-views are, 3 hours? They were 3 hours before 3 hours was an end thing.
Right.
So it wasn't nothing for them to take time from this and put it on this. You know, it was nothing. Nothing. So when that happened, that's when I was like, okay, somebody did that on purpose because I was ready to see, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like you've seen a Michael Jackson rehearsal. You know what I'm saying? And you can't wait to see what the real product gonna look like.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it was, man. And when they did that, I was like, wow, man. Wow. I was 94. I think it was 94 or late 93. I can't remember now. I think it was 94. I can't
Okay.
remember. But yeah, this was right when he, wait a minute. Calcutta said, you must be talking about the Austin Duggan match. No, I'm not talking about Austin and Duggan. I'm talking about Austin and, who would I say? And Ricky Steamboat. I'm talking about Austin and Ricky
Okay.
Steamboat. Not Austin and Duggan. Austin and Duggan, that's going to be a good match, but that's not going to be a, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be more of a slobber knocker. That's
Yeah.
not going to be, two guys out there cranking it up. Not
Right.
saying it wouldn't be a good match, but Austin and Duggan, I think he lost his belt to Duggan. I do remember that. I think Calcutta just chronicled that. But Calcutta said wrestlers who were kept down by Ric Flair, Barry Windham, Sid Vicious, etc. Eric and Austin talked about how Eric fired Austin by fax. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if something was behind that because Pillman and Austin and Steamboat and Shane Douglas. Yeah, I remember Shane talking about that too. But yeah, but that's, man, we talking about the book, man. I don't want to get into that and take away from what David Shabazz is talking about today, man. We can talk about all this stuff at another time.
Right.
Even though David wanted to talk about it, hey, I don't mind giving up some of the stuff to somebody, an avid fan like David Shabazz, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, everybody look him up. Go out and buy his book, man. Go out and tell other people about the book. And I'm telling everybody right now, David and I will say it right now on this show, David and I are embarking on a new project together, but that's all I can tell you.
Right.
So don't be bothering me about what's going on and ask me about David Shabazz. I don't know where he at. All right? I don't know
Going
where
back
he
into
at.
hiding.
Yeah, he's hiding, man. I don't know where he is. Well, David, any parting words? Like I told you, this is not the black and white show. This is the Stevie Ray by himself show. So any parting words, brother?
No, I'm just really glad to be on the show. I really appreciate it, appreciate everything, and definitely looking forward to working with you. And again, that's all we'll say. But because I want to learn more about the what was that, the slapjack from your NWO days and all. I'm joking about that. Well,
No, that's
really
cool.
not, but
That's cool. You should have brought it up. You know what I'm saying? Should have brought it up. Yeah.
But
yeah,
I
man.
appreciate it, man. Seriously, I appreciate you.
No problem, brother. Appreciate you coming on the show. Appreciate you, chronicling some of the things that you did, some of the things that your brother did, some of the things that your brother was up against, even though he wouldn't talk about the real serious part of profanity, even though he sidestepped that like the politician that he was. It's all good. It is all good.
Right.
That's what you do. You sidestep it. You know what I'm saying? But David, I'm telling you something right now. I don't sidestep nothing, bro. I'm telling you right now. You got to know what you got to know what you're getting yourself into, bro.
Oh yeah.
You need to know. Cause when the hammer comes down, brother, it comes hard. You better be ready. I'm telling you right now, no hopscotching with Stevie Ray, bro.
Right,
no, it's double Dutch. And see, people out there don't know what I'm talking about. See, ain't no hopscotching here. It's double Dutch, bro. You got to be ready and in shape.
Right.
Oh man, we're gonna lay it down. We're gonna lay it down, bro. I'm telling you right now, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're gonna say, if I'm about to come up and read something, walk up and go, "You are part of this." Can't sidestep, dog. You got to say, "Yeah, yeah."
I'm with it. It's because it's time. We put the history out there and let people know who's and paid that respect to them. So now it's time to talk about
Hey, why not?
Get into it.
Why not? I mean, they've already They already pulled a gimmick on your boy one time, bro. You know, and they ain't gonna do it twice.
Right.
You dig? They ain't gonna do it twice. They already left me out. You know what I'm saying? While your brother sitting in the other room in there. They left your boy out.
They did.
And now we want to talk about champions? But see, this is the thing. If you're not a champion, you don't know nothing about being a champion.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's what your boy, if your boy had really been, if your brother had really been thinking about me, he would have said that. He would have said, hey, wait a minute, these two are right, but what do you guys know? That's what he would have said. That's what I would have said. What do you guys know? You know, when did you put a company on your back? When did you work on Christmas Day and still had a sold out building because the people was there to see you in the main event?
Right.
You know, no tap dancing, baby. No Bojangles over here, boy. None. Hey, ain't no Mr. Bojangles over here, dog. I'm telling you right now.
Right. Right.
Hey, and if you ain't ready, baby, this ain't the house for you, brother. I'm just letting you know, bro. But everybody, this is what we're gonna do it. Y'all know what that is. Hey, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow night. We call it Tokyo Heat. Sonny Ono will be in the house. And hey, I'll be ready for him. Y'all know I'm always one step ahead. Kyle Cutter say, leave all that dancing for Ernest Miller. That's true. And that's why he's been banned from this show. He's been banned. But for my man, Mr. David Shabazz, I am Stevie Ray, and you are watching the world's most dangerous podcast, Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. Tomorrow night, it is on like a steaming pot of neck bones. And I'll see you guys then. Peace.